Imagine waking up in a world where traveling from one state to another requires a permit or a visa. In this alternate America, under the rule of a dictatorship, the concept of freedom and movement as we know it takes on a whole new meaning. The open road, once a symbol of freedom and adventure, is now a path heavily trodden with restrictions and control. The government, with its iron fist, holds the reins on movement, dictating who can travel, where and when. Such control is exercised through the issuance of travel permits or visas, even for domestic travel between states. This means that a simple road trip from California to Oregon, a journey once made on a whim, could now require official paperwork, approval, and days, if not weeks of waiting. The criteria for approval of these permits aren't just about your identity or purpose of travel. No, it's a more insidious system, where political loyalty and social status become the determining factors. This means that dissenters, those brave enough to voice their opposition, and marginalized groups, those already bearing the brunt of society's inequalities, find themselves effectively exiled within their own country. The open skies, the winding roads, and the bustling cities, once playgrounds for the curious and the adventurous, are now out of reach for those who don't align with the regime's views. It's a chilling thought. The places you long to see, the experiences you yearn to have, and the memories you hope to make are now subject to the whims of an authoritarian government. This new travel landscape is a stark departure from the America we know, an America that celebrates diversity, freedom, and exploration. It's a sobering reminder of how quickly our freedoms can be curtailed, and how much we stand to lose when we allow fear and control to dictate our lives. The freedom to explore, once taken for granted, now sits behind a wall of bureaucracy and control. It's not just about getting the permit, it's also about making it through the transportation hubs. In this imagined America, under dictatorship rule, transportation hubs become a hotbed of surveillance and scrutiny. Airports, train stations, bus terminals, they all transform into watchtowers of the regime, employing advanced technology to keep a hawk eye on citizens. Facial recognition systems, once a marvel of technology, become tools of control, scanning faces in the crowd, identifying, tracking. Biometric scans, too, add another layer of surveillance, reducing individuals to data points in a massive, all-seeing database. And let's not forget the passenger lists, meticulously monitored, every name scrutinized, every movement tracked. Anomalies don't go unnoticed, and suspicious activity is a red flag that could send alarm bells ringing. The journey, once a prelude to adventure, is now a gauntlet of scrutiny and suspicion. Travel, a concept synonymous with freedom, now redefined under the relentless gaze of the surveillance state. You've got your permit, you've navigated the transportation hub, but do you really know where you're going? In a dictatorship, the answer is often obscured. Imagine a world where the government holds the keys to information about travel destinations, every piece of knowledge, every snippet of insight, every captivating image, all under their control. Now consider how that power could be used to manipulate the narrative. The government, acting as the gatekeeper, could sanitize or embellish the truth about each destination. Your favorite beach might be portrayed as a paradise, hiding the fact that it's now a militarized zone. That bustling city you've always wanted to visit, its civil unrest conveniently swept under the rug. Access to genuine, unfiltered information would be a rarity. Travelers could be fed propaganda-laden descriptions that paint a rosy picture, while the gritty reality lies hidden beneath the surface. The destination, once a place of discovery and exploration, is now a carefully crafted illusion. Crossing borders isn't just about showing your passport anymore. In this new world, under the rule of a dictatorship, the journey from one state to another, let alone to a different country, is fraught with challenges and intense scrutiny. At the heart of this surveillance network are the borders, the tangible lines that demarcate territories. The once welcoming gateways are now fortified with extensive security measures. Armed guards stand at the helm, their piercing gazes scanning every traveller. The atmosphere is tense, as if the very air is charged with suspicion. In this landscape, checkpoints are the new normal. Travellers are subjected to exhaustive questioning, their responses dissected and analysed for potential threats. The once simple act of crossing a border has now become a gruelling interrogation, a test of loyalty to the regime. Those who dare to venture beyond the borders are met with an additional layer of surveillance. Their belongings are meticulously searched, inspected for any trace of contraband or prohibited materials. The personal space of the traveller is invaded, their privacy a mere illusion under the watchful eyes of the authorities. In this new reality, the freedom to explore, to experience the world beyond one's immediate surroundings, is heavily curtailed. The borders, once gateways to new experiences, are now intimidating barriers, a tangible manifestation of the regime's control over its citizens. In this world, Big Brother doesn't just watch you, he listens too. Communication, once a simple act of sharing experiences or planning adventures, becomes a potential minefield. The dictatorship rule leaves no stone unturned in its quest for control, extending its reach to the far corners of the digital sphere. Emails, phone calls, even the most innocent of social media interactions are all under the watchful eye of the regime. Every word you type, every call you make is scrutinized for signs of dissent or subversion. Imagine planning a trip, discussing potential destinations with friends over a phone call. That conversation, once private and free of concern, is now intercepted, analysed, and potentially used against you. Speaking out, or even just expressing curiosity about forbidden places, could lead to consequences far more severe than a cancelled trip. And it's not just about where you want to go, it's about what you say when you get there. Share a photo, post a comment, send an email back home, and those too could be flagged, examined for any hint of disapproval towards the regime. In this world, your words, like your movements, are monitored and potentially punishable. Communication, once a way to share experiences and excitement, is now a potential source of danger. In a dictatorship, the simple act of talking about travel becomes a high-stakes game of cat and mouse with the authorities, forever altering the way we connect with the world and each other.